YouTube. This is the first tutorial of learning the basics of flying RC helicopters. So let's get started. What you're first going to want is an RC heli and a transmitter. When buying RC helis, you should start off with an indoor one. However, if you've flown RC helis before and you want to move on to 3D helis, you can buy an outdoor one that's for beginners. This one is an indoor one, but it has enough power to fly a little bit outdoors. So here's a transmitter. If you've never flown before, this will be really weird to you. This is in mode 2, meaning that on the right stick you have your rudder. So your rudder right, that will make the helicopter do this. And if you put it to the left, that'll make the helicopter do that. So that's your rudder axis. Over here, this one, if you, on the right stick, when you put it back, that's your elevator. Up and down, so forward, that makes the heli go forward. Backwards, it makes the heli go backwards. Now the left stick, this is what makes your helicopter run. So up will obviously make it take off, and have it in the middle for mid-flight. And then when you want to land, you slowly bring it down. So if you go too high, you can quickly go back down. Then over here, maybe a bit hard to see, is trim. It's a trim wheel. And what this trim wheel does is it allows the trim for the rudder, which is on your right stick, to center. So when you take off, when you're trying to hover, your helicopter, a new one, might start to do this. It'll start spinning around by itself, you not telling it what to do. So if it's your helicopter, when it takes off and it wants to hover, it spins to the right, you get this knob, trim wheel, and you spin it to the left. However, if it spins to the left, you get the trim wheel and spin to the right. This is a 4-channel helicopter with these 2 buttons on the side, one here and one here. This engages the 2 side rotors, one here and one on the other side. What they will do is they make the helicopter do this. Go off to the sides without changing direction. So if you're about to hit a wall, if you're going for like a doorway, and you're about to hit the sides, you can go like vroom, or that way. Now that we know the basics, it's time to get started. To get started flying, you want to make sure that the battery is fully charged. My helicopter, it's charged. What you're next going to do is put in the batteries into the transmitter, which is shown in the manual. After doing so, you're going to place your helicopter on a stable surface. Here I've placed it in the garage. What you're then going to do is, on your transmitter, you're going to flick the light that says on. And the light should turn on, red, in my case. Now that the transmitter is on and working, you know that when you turn on the helicopter, which is usually on the side, it will pick up the signal. My helicopter has picked up the signal, so it is now ready to fly. Make sure when you turn it on, you quickly put it back onto a stable surface. Mine looks a little bit like a disco light. Okay, now that your helicopter is on and ready, it is time to to fly it. So you're going to put both hands onto the transmitter, like so, and you're going to move the throttle. As you can see, as you put it up, the blades start to spin. And so eventually what you want to do, just get the right camera angle, what you want to do is take off. While the helicopter is on the ground, it will have a little bit of a ground effect, meaning that the blades blow a lot on the ground, and the ground may be an unstable surface, something like that, so you have to take off pretty quickly. So you're going to quickly get your throttle and put it to halfway. You should get positive liftoff. When you feel comfortable with liftoff, land it. Now that we have accomplished takeoff, we can now start to do basic maneuvers. So, with the helicopter landed, we'll take off. As you can see, my heli is now rotating to the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the trim to the left until the spinning stops. Okay, it's just about stopped. I'm now ready for some more basic maneuvers. With the helicopter now in a hover position, we need to learn how to turn and go forward. To turn, use the right stick with the rudder, and you're going to turn it to the right. Now turning it to the right will bring the helicopter facing more right. And if you want to go in that direction, you go forward. Now turning to the left, just put it back left, and now go forward in that direction. It's very simple. You can have a bit of a practice with it once you get better. To fly it lower, closer to objects. As you can see, I did a bit of a close camera flyby. I just then purposely crashed it into the tripod. So, in event of a crash, you want to look physically for any damage on the blades. In my case, there is no damage. So then you're going to look at internal damage, which is a little bit hard to see, sometimes because of the case, but it doesn't look like there's any damage. You're going to check the blades then. They're working. And then you're just going to put it back down and take off again. If you beginners are wondering what this fourth channel is for, so I'm going to hold those two buttons again, and it brings the helicopter to the side. If you watch closely again, it brought that to the side without changing the direction. So that's a pretty cool feature once you get familiar with the controls. After about 8 minutes of flying, most indoor helis will run out of battery. Therefore, you'll have to plug it into either your remote or into your PC. Okay, now that you've mastered the movements of flight, you're then wanting to do some circuits. So I'll be doing a basic circuit around and around. You want to try keep the same altitude the whole way through and make it as smoothly as possible. Once you have finished that, you can put it down to land and make up another circuit. This time I'm going to do a sort of a figure 8 circuit. It would be hard to keep into the camera's range, so just try pay attention. I'm going to bring it to a hover, and we're going to start doing the figure 8. It's a pretty fun maneuver. Once you have gotten familiarized yourself with that, you can then go on to some flying back and forwards. It's pretty simple, but how close can you get to objects before crashing into them? Oh, that was close. Camera didn't get that. I'm going to go backwards. And now back forwards again. Now backwards, and then forwards. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have learned something from this video, that you have mastered or gotten better at indoor flight. Thank you.